Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are talking about jumping cards and why you need to look out for them almost more than you do the cards within the spread. Even though both are important, but they serve separate purposes that are just as equally as important. But I personally believe that the jumping cards may actually be better indicators of information or better messengers of information that you need to receive while you're working on a reading for yourself or for others. Now, what is a jumping card? Simply put, it is a card that jumps out of your hand while you're shuffling the deck. When you are shuffling them, and this is my case for those of you guys who are interested. This is the case that I keep my cards in while I'm traveling with. This is one set of decks, one set of deck that I use. This is just a regular Rider-Waite deck. This is one that I love from Flowers from the Dead. You know, I just totally identified with this deck immediately as soon as I got it, as soon as I saw it, and then when I got it, I was like, ugh, this is so awesome. I'll keep the links for both of these decks down below so you can get them for yourselves. Yeah, so today I'm going to be working with the Rider-Waite deck because it's so simple and easy to work with. So while you are shuffling with the deck, and it's really important that the deck that you choose to work with as you're you know, dealing with jumper cards, make sure it's something that a deck that you've already deeply connected with. And if you want me to do a video about connecting with your deck and breaking in a new deck, I will absolutely do that for you guys because I feel like I've actually gotten that request before. But it's really important that the deck that you choose to work with is one that you have already built and established a relationship with. If you take a regular card deck or a regular deck like a tarot deck that you just got, it's going to be really difficult to get the same results with the jumper cards. It's not because the jumper cards, or it's not because the way that the deck feels, it's just because and from my personal experience, that the longer I've worked with a deck, the cards will jump. Like but that's totally different than when you have a new deck and you're shuffling, and it feels totally different than when you have a new deck and you're shuffling and the cards just slip out or jump, like, you know, like maybe there's a problem with your hands or whatever, and like one card flips out or whatever the case may be. When you are starting, that's going to happen. I almost look at that as when you have a new puppy and you are breaking them in and they're getting to know you, you're getting to know them, their personalities, that you're learning, you know, your puppy's personality, and there's just like times where there's like mistakes and there's things that happen and you're still getting to you're getting used to each other. The same thing is true with a deck. And I know that sounds crazy, but believe me, if you're a tarot reader for a long time, I have 16 years under my belt minimum that I can count off the top of my head. And I have decks that have been with me from day one when I first picked up the tarot deck. And the energy is totally different. You have to trust my word on that. Again, I feel like there's some skeptics that visit my channel. It is what it is, but you just have to kind of trust me and believe me that, you know, if you have connected with the deck and you have a built-up relationship, that deck knows you inside and out, and it will tell you about yourself. You can use it to work with others. You can use it to work on yourself. But the honesty and the realness of that deck is unmatched by anything else. And the way that the cards jump out of the deck when it's a deck that you've established a relationship with is just insane. Like, it literally will, if you're shuffling, there's many times where the card will go, like, it just seems like it literally will flip out from the top, just one, and then land, and I'm like, High Priestess, this girl knows what she's talking about. Obviously, every time when I am, you know, talking about myself, the High Priestess comes up. So thank you again for, you know, confirmation and for working with me, tarot. And yeah, so anyways, so okay, so why the jumpers are so important, and now that you know what they are. So jumpers are so important because when you are shuffling the cards and you're thinking about a question, your energy is so open, and you really want it to allow yourself to keep your energy open to receiving messages. And I think what a lot of mistakes that people do when they're working with the tarot is they restrict themselves and confine themselves to be like, okay, well, this is what I want to know. But the jumper cards, what they do is they say, like, look, we get that this is what it is that you're asking about. This is what we want you to know about the situation. Don't even factor anything in. This is the message that we have for you. And what's that card, even if it doesn't make sense to you, it holds a really important message. And you'll start to see that over time. Like, I typically, for myself, I don't really put down a spread unless there is really one thing that I want to look into. But I will deal with more jumper cards than I do pulling the whole spread out, because that one card typically tells me everything that I need to know about a situation without me having to look too hard or too deep into it. That one card is the card that was designed and designated from my angels and my guides for me to hear right now in this moment. So, and that's one thing that I want to say, that when you're working with your cards, is that when you are beginning to work with jumper cards and bless your deck and, get the ball rolling with, receiving answers and asking questions, you want to set the intention and you want to invite your angels and your guides to be like, if there's anything that it is that you want me to know, make it known, make it clear. And that's when you'll start getting those jumper cards. So sometimes it will be, so let's say, what do we have here? Like, let's say we want to ask a question like, okay, what do I need to know today? And this is what I do for myself. This is what I do for myself. See, they jump for me like every 6 seconds. Hold on, let me pause this and grab the card. Oh, okay, so when I do the jumper cards for myself every single day, and I do them for me so I can know what to expect for the day ahead, or if there's any messages or anything that I need to hear. And I also pull them for you guys on my Instagrams every single day to make sure that you're getting a message. And I allow it to, I don't, pull, shuffle, cut. Well, I don't shuffle, cut the deck and pull it. I allow those cards to jump out because they typically tend to have a lot of, raw, real information to listen in that moment that, I just have to be open to receiving. In this case, the cards that jumped out for us today are the Page of Wands and the Four of Swords. Page of Wands shows me that there's some information that may be coming in, some high energy circumstances, but also I may, or the situation around me may need some rest. Interestingly enough, I did get some really sad news last night that one of my family members died overnight. So it is kind of it's a little difficult today for me to it is a little difficult for me today to do these videos, and I do want to kind of take some rest, but there's a lot that needs to be done. But there's a lot that's going on in my personal life, I guess. But but going back to what it was that I was saying, that with these jumper cards, what you want to do is to start off, you want to write down the cards that jump out. And the thing is that the jumper cards, they don't have a determined position for their meaning. They don't have something that just says, okay, well, this is the card of the future, or this is the card of someone else's energy. It's so open, and that's the magic of it. So what you want to do is you want to write down the cards that jump out. In this case, I have 2 that jump out, so I allow those cards to kind of tell me the story. On average, if there's 6 cards that jump out and they just, at a time, if they fall out of my hands, I'm like, I put them back in. And don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Don't be afraid to be like, okay, I'm not really sure if this is you, angels and guides, talking to me because you want me to hear all of this information right now, or if this was a mistake. Don't be afraid to put the cards back into the deck, reshuffle them, and set the intention again. Okay, what is it that I need to know today? What is it that I need to know about the situation? What is it that I need to know about this person? What do I need to know about myself? What area in my life am I currently do I need to experience the most growth about, and open up to receive that message. Now, I will say that jumper cards, working with those jumper cards, it does require a certain level of understanding and knowing and knowledge of the deck, not only of what each card means, but also what it means to you in order for you to get the most out of the reading. But what I recommend for every single person is that you keep a tarot journal, and that when these cards jump out, you pull for yourself every single day, and that when these cards jump out, that you write them down, and that at the very end of the day that you go back and review it. Keep in mind that the tarot will show you the energy around you within that moment or the situation. Some of those things may not be clear or obvious to you right now in this moment, Sometimes it's an undercurrent of energy that's developing and building up over time. So you want to watch and wait to see how that message applies to you, but keep pulling every single day, because every card that you pull is you getting to connect with your cards even more. It's getting you to understand the cards even more. It's getting them to understand you, and it's an energy exchange. So I hope that that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to go Page of Wands and Four of Swords myself today. Ooh, that sounds kind of weird. I'm going to Page of Wands by making myself a cup of coffee, which is going to give me some energy. I mean, I have a lot of energy right now, and I have a lot of ideas. Obviously, I'm just here on YouTube. I have a lot of excitement about the videos that I wanted to film today, and I know that you're excited about them. But after I'm done this, I am going to go into a Four of Swords state and kind of relax, because the news of my uncle passing was just sudden and unexpected, and I'm dealing with it, I guess. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I know that I feel like I kind of rambled with this video, but the video is requested, and we'll see how it goes. I love you. Let me know what cards you're pulling. Shuffle. Grab your tarot deck right now. Shuffle them, and tell me what jumps out. See, my cards just said, okay, Jess, Page of Wands, Four of Swords, because I was like, should I reshuffle? Like, in my head, I was like, should I reshuffle and see what cards jump out for me again? And those cards jumped out of my hands. All right, I get it. I love you. Bye.